Welcome to Pathway to Success. I'm your host, Dr. Michael Hunter. We want to thank you for joining, for coming on with us this evening. We have one of the most interesting. She's a guest this evening. She's an entrepreneur. She's a winner. She's making it happen. She's so talented, multifaceted, and so it's going to be a great show. I want you to start sharing the show. We have Miss Ross. I call her Miss Ross the boss. She is Miss Ross the boss. She's the owner of WMRR Radio in Miami, a popular internet radio station with a solid track record that stands up to its local stations. She's also
Yes.
the founder and CEO of Womska, an online directory that provides free advertising, marketing, and promotion to local small businesses worldwide with a number one rating for small business economic growth. Ms. Ross is also a leader, positive influence, an advocate of the people, a philanthropist. I like that. Radio personality, reality star, singer, songwriter. We were talking about her voice. So she has a beautiful voice. You'll hear her voice. Maybe she may just give us a tip of the song that she has. Entrepreneur and now two-time successful businesswoman. She's a cast member on a Miami-based reality show called Boss Models. I love that. I want to tune into that reality show. She's the producer also of her own reality show series set to air on streaming platforms this year. One of the things I said to her, I kind of tried to see if I could get on a reality show. We were talking backstage about that. But Miss Ross the boss, welcome to Pathway to Success.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited to be here. And as I was telling you, I do not believe these things happen by accident. I am supposed to be here at this very moment.
You're so right. Tell me something, what made you decide to go in business for yourself as a young
Ooh,
lady?
uh, honestly, a lot of poor decisions and bad mistakes. I had
I like
no
you.
other choice.
Don't we all have made the same mistakes in life? We all have.
Yes, yes,
Yes,
yes,
yes.
yes. As a teen, my upbringing, it was good. My mom, she did the best that she could. But as we go into our teenage years, we go into our own wisdom. We think we know everything. And so I had a very hard teen life. And I made that life hard for myself. So once I got into a lot of trouble, hanging with the wrong crowd, I had no other choice but to provide for myself. So I had to create my own income at that time. And it just stuck with me. And I just, decided that I wanted to change my life around. And I think one day I saw this woman. I can't remember who she was. I was in Atlanta, Georgia at the time. I lived in Atlanta, and I was out and about, and I saw this woman, and she was dressed in a suit. And I don't know if she was a church-going woman. I don't know. Her presence, her image, and everything about her made me want to be that. So when I looked at her, I said, that can be me. I want to be her. I want to be this woman, because she was a very positive influencer at that time. And I think she was speaking somewhere. And I just remember seeing her walking. And I can't quite remember where I was at the moment. But that moment for me was the change that I needed at that time. And from that moment on, I prayed and I asked God, to change me and to mold me into who He wanted me to be. So I was ready to get on a new path in life. I was in darkness. I was lost. And at one point in my life, I didn't know why I was here. So when you start questioning God in regards to your purpose and why are you even here? Why am I even born? Why was I born? That right there should let you know that you need to go back, get that relationship with God, and ask Him, because you are here for a reason. But if you don't know what that reason is, now is the time for you to start asking your Father for that answer. Because for me, I really was at a place where I didn't know, what my purpose was. I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. And it just seems like I was just going in circles, and I wanted to do something different. And God did that for me.
You are really an inspiration, really. You're really inspiration. So this woman that you saw, that was what she was the inspiration for you to change your, just make a 90-degree turnaround in
Yes,
your life.
because because a lot of people don't know, being with the wrong crowd. And I could tell you, and I always talk to young girls. I have two teenage daughters, 14 and 15. I'm very transparent with them in regards to my past. I always tell my daughters, listen, you have no reason to make any mistakes because I've already made those mistakes for you.
Right.
Everything that you think that you want to do, that you can do, trust me. I've done it and I failed, and I can tell you it is not going to work the way that you want it to work. So I always tell my children, they have to be obedient, because I was a very disobedient teen. I didn't listen. And so that for me, it sticks with me. And I know one time someone told me that I was a leader. They also told me that in order for me to be a great leader, that I had to learn how to take direction. And that was something that always stuck with me as well. And with those, God putting people in my life. I mean, when I say God was with me all throughout my life, I cannot deny that this man was here, because I remember people that came into my life and just sowed seeds. And I didn't even know who these people were at the time. I can't even tell you who these people are. And this is why I know that it was just God directing me, getting me back on course, and bringing me to this place where I am today, where I'm able to not only lead and, talk to people, but I can be transparent with them and pretty much give them, a visual in regards to what I believe, they should or should not be doing in their life at this present moment. And going back to what I was saying, I used to be a stripper. Believe it or not, a lot of people, they tell me, what? When I say that, they're like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, no, I used to be a stripper in Atlanta. I worked at 3 different clubs. I worked in the strip club for 6 years. And that's a whole nother show, trying.
Oh yeah, we really would love to have
Yeah.
that second version of that show.
Yeah, that's a whole nother story. It's so much that I can explain. A lot of people always want to know how, why, when. They just want to know, because seeing me the way that I am now, a lot of people don't believe it. But I'm very transparent. That's just the place that I was at one point in my life. That is where my mindset was. That is the company that I kept. And this is why I tell people all the time, it is, in fact, the company that you keep. If you continue to surround yourself with people who are not doing well in life, who are not trying to succeed in life, who don't dream, who don't have aspirations, who are not seeking God, you will become a product of your environment. Not because you want to, but because that's where you are at that moment.
No, you sound like a preacher on pathway to success. Maybe you're the maybe you're the next new preacher that will hit the gospel arena, that will become famous.
Listen, don't say that, Mr. Hunter. My daddy might be listening, and he always told me I'm supposed to have a church. We're not gonna go there.
Well, I want to say that to Daddy, if he's watching right now, to let him know that he has a great daughter, one who's inspirational, and one who is giving wise counsel to the nation. Your story is one of inspiration. And what I love about your transparency and your honesty, that's what makes you real. Oh, yeah. And I can see success written all over you. But tell us some more about Wamska. I'm Jamaican, so maybe I didn't pronounce it that well.
No, you pronounced it just fine.
I pronounced it that well. Fine.
It is pronounced Wamska. And Wamska, Wamska is an acronym for Word of Mouth South, great advertising.
I like that.
I created Wamska because a few years ago, about 10 years ago, coming on this journey, remember, from starting trying to improve myself. I was searching for something that I could do. I was searching for a service that I could provide that was legitimate, that actually helped people, and at the same time, you know, afforded me to be able to live off of this service that I provided. So I got into web designs. I had a friend of mine, her company still exists. It's called 1-800-MY-WEB. The owner of that, she's Black owned. Her name is Lisa. So Lisa got me into web designs, right? She told me, you know, with your creative mind and with who you are, you could get into designing websites. And so I started doing that. I did that for like 2 or 3 years. It got a little bit, you know, hectic for me. So I decided to tap into my passion. I decided to start focusing on what it is I really wanted to do, because web designs wasn't something that I wanted to do. It was something that I decided to do to keep myself occupied so that I wouldn't end up back in the strip club. So I was, you know, looking and searching for ways to escape my past life. And at that time, I was willing to do anything that put me on the straight and narrow. And so God brought Lisa into my life, and she got me into web designs. I did web designs for 3 years. I transformed that company, which was the same name. It was WAMSGA. And I turned it into an advertising, marketing, and promotions platform, because I realized that I was great word of mouth. I had this mouth of the South where people would call me and ask me, you know, do you know about this? Do you know where I can find this? And I was always that person that people would call. My mom, my cousins, everybody will always call me to help other people with their businesses. How can they promote, market, advertise? Because I was pretty much the mouth of the South of the community of businesses and people, you know, that God had me in the center of. And then one day I decided, you know what? I love doing what I do. I love helping businesses. I love helping people start their businesses. I love helping people change their life. If I can take someone out of the depths of darkness and out of the mud and help them get to the tip, you know, of the iceberg, of the beginning of a new chapter in life for them, that is me. That is what I genuinely love to do. And so that's when I decided, you know what, I'm going to transform WAMSGA into this marketing, advertising, and promotions platform. And I did that. 5 years later, I saw an advertisement for Yelp, right? So God is still dealing with me. I see this ad for Yelp. You know, Yelp is like one of the biggest online business directories in the world. Every business around the world lists their business in this directory to get found by their local customers. So then I started thinking, you know what? I could do that. I could turn WAMSGA into a business directory. Why not? It's all promotions. It's all marketing. It's all tied into the same industry. And that's what I did. I saved up 2 years tax returns, the refunds that I had gotten, and I purchased this software, and voila, WAMSGA, the search directory, is here.
Wow. Amazing. What an inspiration. So you saved 2 years tax return.
And I felt bad because I remember each year my sisters and because, you know, every year everybody around me was buying big screen TVs, bedroom suits, and you know, they were
temporary
themselves, right? They were able to treat themselves because they held 9-to-5 jobs. You know, everybody had a good county job. They were either in nursing, contracting, you know, working for the city. So they had real good, stable jobs. So they were able to take their refunds and go on trips, vacations. And here I am, I'm an entrepreneur. I don't have the money to be able to take my refund and splurge. So every year I had to, you know, put it aside towards, you know, building my businesses. And I did that. I said, you know what? I'll buy myself and I'll treat myself once I hit my millions. So I'm not worried about it anymore. And that's what I did. And I saved them up. And that second year, and it was awesome because that second year, this company that I wanted to buy my directory from, it was so expensive. But do you know, God blessed me to where I had saved up all this money to purchase this software. And at the very moment where I was ready to purchase this software, God had a 2-for-1 deal for $900 for 2 directories. I bought 2 instead of 1 at $900. He gave me like a $4,000 discount.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and I knew that was God at that moment. And I was able to take the rest of that money and put it into my advertising, my flyers, my banners. I paid for a few social media ads and, you know, advertising on social media. And my directory went from 0 till today. I have over 40,000 local small businesses listed in my directory today.
Inspirational. Inspirational. And you've just inspired others to save their tax returns instead of going to but I won't name out the companies that they go and shop because that could be and concur something else. But that's inspirational because not many persons have that maturity and that goal where they're focused on a vision that is far bigger than shopping at the current moment with your tax returns. But you put it away, and today you're the owner of your own internet radio, WAMCA. You're a producer of your own show, singer, songwriter. Inspirational. We're going to take a short break on Pathway to Success, and we're going to come right back with Miss Ross, the boss, the inspirational one.
There's a new sports bar and grill in town, Tasty Soul Food Sports Bar and Grill. Join T-Dog and all his celebrity friends for the grand opening on Saturday, May 1st, beginning at 2 p.m. It's a grown and sexy vibe with 80s and 90s R&B music, served with Tasty's great tasting menu, offering Tasty's burgers and fries, Tasty's shrimp, salmon, oxtails, mac and cheese, collard greens, smothered pork chops, potato salad, lemon pound cake, and so much more. And T-Dog is bringing out all his celebrity friends. And the only way you're gonna know who's there is by coming by T-Dog's all-new Tasty Soul Food Sports Bar and Grill. Join us for the grand opening on Saturday, May 1st at 2 p.m. 3770 Northeast 3rd Avenue, Pompano Beach. It's a grown and sexy vibe with 80s and 90s R&B music. Call and place your order now at 954-953-8856. A Tasty's experience is what you deserve. Tasty Soul Food Sports Bar and Grill, home of the lemon pepper and sweet and tangy fried ribs. Due to COVID restrictions, mask must be worn upon entering the building.
She's doing a great job. Inspirational.
Everybody, it is Miss Ross with WMRR Radio, Boss Nation and Boss Models reality show.
Hi guys, I'm the 6-figure license owner and cast member of Miami's newest reality show, Boss Models. That's me interviewing Creed Campbell of Growing Up Hip Hop on WeTV. This is me interviewing philanthropist and MTV host Romeo Miller and actor Slim Stunner at the Miami Urban Film Festival.
Boss Nation, you guys are going to be seeing him make a lot of
This is me co-hosting the official celebrity boxing match starring Lamar Odom at the James L. Knight Center in Miami. One of my best qualities is putting people in positions to make their own money, and I want to put you in the same position to build your own wealth. Visit my website at the link below and purchase my business license. Let me help you afford the lifestyle you want. License my company today.
Okay. We don't.
License is absolutely brilliant. The fact that it can also advertise and promote local small businesses and build up the economy all at the same time and for free. I think the business model has been really well thought out.
The opportunity WAMSCA provides is one that you wouldn't expect from a corporate company. I mean, no other company is as generous as this. WAMSCA's definitely lowered the bar. And honestly, they're really giving Americans a chance to build wealth. It's very impressive.
When you see 100% profits, you immediately think it's too good to be true, but it's actually legit. You can literally pay just $100 for a franchise license, pay no franchise fees for a year, and pocket everything you earn. It's amazing.
This is the opportunity we've all been looking for, but didn't expect it to happen. The WAMSCA franchise license is brilliant.
I think it is truly an amazing company.
Purchase your WAMSCA franchise license today. Click the pricing tab at the top of our website to purchase your license right now. Join our franchise community free on Facebook at My WAMSCA Franchise, and let's build a community of wealth together.
Challenging. All the tools your business needs seem to be too expensive, but it doesn't have to be. Introducing the answer, WAMSCA. an exclusive directory made just for small businesses, rated #1 by small businesses, simple, effective, and affordable. So here's how it works. Join free and get listed instantly, or sign up with a membership for better placement. Stand out in the crowd, get found by customers. John is a small business owner. He needs advertising but knows how expensive it can be. John knows how advertising could impact his business but doesn't know the budget. John sees a WAMSCA advertisement and decides to give us a call. First, we list John's business in our online directory for free. Secondly, we present to John more ways to increase his presence. Thirdly, we offer John a valuable membership plan he can afford. And last, no pay-per-clicks, no pay-per-leads, no budget required. We find out more about John's business. We put an action plan together to meet John's business needs. We help John build an online presence to attract customers to his business. And the best part is, we get to the root of John's problem and we solve it thanks to our full lineup of top-notch services. Now John has exactly what he needs. We promote, advertise, and market John's business so that he doesn't have to. So what are you waiting for? Let us get the word out about your business and drive traffic to your website. It works and it's convenient. Contact us today, www.1800wamsca.com and www.wamsca.com, or follow us on social media.
Welcome back to Pathway to Success. I'm your host, Dr. Michael Hunter, and we have the inspirational Miss Ross, the boss.
Hello, everybody.
Very, very inspirational young woman. A great entrepreneur, great business mind, creative. I really believe that if you're looking for a company to advertise or to market whatever product you have, WAMSCA,
Yes.
That's the word, WAMSCA. WAMSCA. I gotta get a T-shirt. I gotta get my. You gotta get me a T-shirt that we start doing on my show. WAMSCA.
Listen, your accent, because your accent is so heavy. That's your word, but
Yes,
the word is WAMSCA.
WAMSCA. Oh yeah. I like that's because of my Jamaican accent.
Yes.
It comes up, but it's WAMSCA.
Yes.
I love that. WAMSCA. Wow, what great commercials. We just looked on your some of your commercials and we're tremendously impressed. But with every business, there's been challenges. What has been your greatest challenge so far since you have stepped out and started your own business?
Oh, wow. My biggest challenge has honestly been getting people to believe that your service or product is legitimate and real. And that has been my greatest challenge, because I understand that people have been burned. You know, there have been a lot of companies making a lot of promises to people, and people are simply burnt out. You know, they're tired of investing their money in these products and in these services and these companies that's promising them, you know, oh, you can build your own wealth, you can become your own boss, you can make all this money, and then nothing happens. 6 months later, they're still stuck where they are. And for me, my biggest challenge is proving that this is not one of those companies. You know, God put in me this idea. This idea did not come to me. This was not something that I could have even thought of on my own. I had to literally ask God what it is he wanted me to do for his people. You know, I had to ask him, use me, let me be a vessel. You give me the idea and I am going to put it to work. So this idea and everything that I have done, it has been for the people, God's people, the people who are willing to get up, get out and make something of themselves. So I'm simply just here to help them do that.
Wow. Wow. Well said. And one of the things that I recognize with you is that you have also made Wamska a franchise. You have made your franchise your company, and it's a traditional franchise too.
Yes. So that again, that was an idea that was only given to me by God. One day, my cousin called me. She lives in Jacksonville, and she called me and she was very upset. She had invested in a company. I'm not going to say the company's name. I'm very aware of a lot of companies because I'm one of these people where I have spent a lot of money over the years, you know, investing in different companies, hoping that one day I would make the money that I want to make, you know, and be already sitting on my 20, 50 million by now. And so my cousin called me one day. She had seen my advertisements of my company, and she reached out to me and she said, you know, I invested in this company and I made a huge mistake. I haven't made any money. You know, are you hiring? And at the time I said, you know what? I'm not hiring. And at that very moment, I told her, I said, listen, give me a couple hours and I'll get back with you. I said, I'll have something for you. And literally at that moment, God put in me, he said, franchise your company. I want you to allow my people to make 100% profit. This is going to be a platform for them. So then I'm thinking, well, how am I going to do that? If I allow people to sell my product and keep 100% of the profits, I'm like, God, come on. Are you what? How am I going to make money? You know, how am I going to, you know, feed my children? And so, you know, he told me, he said, you're going to license your company. And I said, you know what? I do licensing. I remember I've licensed books before. You know, people license products, toys, companies all the time. So I called my mom and I said, Mom, I said, listen to this. And I ran it by her and she said, well, you got to do it. If God put it in your spirit to do it, you got to do it. So what I did, I understood what franchising was. Franchising, when you're trying to franchise a McDonald's, you know, a big corporate company, you got to have money. Most of them, you got to have at least $1 million. A lot of people don't have $1 million to franchise a company. So I decided to do a non-traditional franchise, which is kind of like a loophole to franchising, which is how I implemented the licensing. So people literally license my company. So they sign a contract with me. They pay for their license, just like they would pay an annual license for their their tax receipts. Like when you open a business in your local state, county, you have to buy a license. You have to pay to have your company license. So basically, they license my company. All right. I have 5 different license plans. It's based on however long they want their license to be active. And I give them full rights to this directory. They can, you know, own it. They can use the materials. They can go out, tell people this is their company. They license this company. Any membership that they sell, as long as that license is active, they keep 100% of their profits. In regards to the monthly franchise fees that franchises require, because McDonald's and all these companies, they require a franchise fee. They make a certain percentage every month from these franchisees. I waive my franchise fee for a whole year. So I allow you to buy a license for as low as $100. It gives you 6 months to sell any of my memberships, and you pocket every dime that you make. I don't charge you a franchise fee until a year later, and that franchise fee will always be 10%. So you can make $1 million, and I would only get a 10% of that. Because that's all that I'm asking for, because this platform is built and designed and created for you to make money, for people to build wealth and be able to travel, vacation more than just once every 2-3 years. Now, with, you know, making your own money, pocketing your own money, it's up to you to decide how much money you want to make, because I'm giving you that.
I like that. $100. And the idea behind that, they would not start giving you any money in terms of until a year after.
Right.
Great.
Yeah, that is the franchise license. So basically, I'm just telling them, pay for this license. So I always break it down to people like this. I say the $100 economy license, it gives you 6 months. It's just $100. My VIP membership is $300. If you sell one VIP membership a week, you've made back your 100 plus $200. But if you sell 5 of those, you capitalizing off of $100, and you got 6 months to do this. every day, every week. You could do 5 a day, 5 a week. It doesn't matter. You are going to profit back the $100 that you put into this company. I also give them a free franchise guide. I give them so much information, materials, marketing materials. I send out emails every day. I'm always in contact with my franchisees. I'm talking to them daily. I'm giving them tips on how to sell, how to reach out to businesses. They can even reach out to the businesses that I already have in the directory. I have over 40,000 businesses. Some of them are signed up for free. Some of them are signed up at the lowest plan, which is $30 a year. If you feel like you want to reach out to a business in the directory and get them to upgrade to VIP, by all means do that. And I back all of my franchisees on whatever they decide to tell a business. So if you decide you come up with an idea and you want to tell a business, listen, right now, our VIP membership is $300 for the year. If you sign up with me today, I'm going to give it to you for 5 years. If you say that, I have to honor that. The only thing I require them to do is send me an email letting me know what promise they made, and I'm going to honor that promise. So if you tell them 5 years, I got to give it to them for 5 years.
I like that. Wow. You are really a great mind, a true entrepreneur, and one that, wow, is a mover and shaker. You're also a cast member on a reality show called Boss Models.
Yes.
Tell us more about that, what that show is all about, and how you got involved in that.
Boss Models is a reality show based in Miami. It was put together, a friend of mine, she calls me out for a lot of events. Her name is Ty, Ty Live Entertainment, and Ty calls me out all the time for events, and she is the one that recommended me for this show. The producer, Will, reached out to her in search of women entrepreneurs, women in business who have started their businesses from nothing and who are making great strides in the Miami area. And she referred me. I went, I did my interview, my initial screening. Of course, the producer, the director loved me and they cast me. And so what they do, they follow each one of our lives. They follow us, our careers, and you get to see the ups and downs of the things that we go through as women business owners, so you're basically right there with us, dealing with everything business related that we go through on a daily basis. Even when it comes to our children, you get a little insight on our lives, but it's a platform for women, business women. So it's pretty much to encourage, promote, and empower women in business to continue doing whatever it is that they want to do.
Oh, I mean, does it air on any channel? Is it just
It's actually going to be aired on the Boss Model Network. So they have their own network. Again, this is all Black owned. And they have their own network, just like Netflix, Hulu. So it's going to be airing on the Boss Models Network.
Oh, that's great. We'll be looking forward to that.
It's Boss Nation. The show is Boss Models. The network is Boss Nation.
Boss Nation. I like that. I like that. You also own your own online radio station. How did you market yourself to build your radio station to make it as successful as it is today?
You said, how do I market it?
Yeah. I mean, you own your own online radio station, right?
Yes.
And how? What came into your mind to decide to do that? What inspired you?
Okay, so again, while I was going on this journey of trying to find myself, find my purpose, and all of these things are happening at once, I decided when I was doing WAMSGA, and it was kind of like WAMSGA had it was a drought. There was no money coming in at the time. And my sister encouraged me to go back to school. She said, while the company is kind of down, I think this would be a great opportunity for you to just go back to school, maybe sharpen your business skills, take up a business course, or just do something so that you're not sitting around and, start back thinking that you need to go back to the club. Because keep in mind, everybody's trying to keep me out of strip club at this point. So I said, you know what? I think I will. I'll just go back to school just to keep myself occupied and to keep my mind, you know, focused on, you know, what I wanted to do. So I called up Georgia Perimeter one day and I went to speak to an advisor, right? It was this white guy that answered the phone. And so I'm telling him, hey, you know, I'm interested in going back to school and I want to take up business. I have this company, WAMSGA, and I want to sharpen my business skills. I need to learn how to market, advertise, promote on a professional level. You know, so I'm ranting on to this guy and we're hitting it off. We're on the phone for about 30 minutes. He let me go on and on and on about my business, about what I want to do, why I want to come back to school. And he said, listen, I don't want to discourage you from what you have planned. He said, but hear me out. He said, I'm your advisor, right? I'm supposed to be enrolling you into this school. He said, but I don't see this place is where you need to be. He said, have you ever thought about radio? You have a radio voice. Right. He said, I could sit here and listen to you talk all day. Your voice is radio. He said, I'll tell you what, I'm going to refer you to some radio schools. He told me about CBS broadcasting school in Atlanta, but you had to pay out of pocket. And it was like $20,000 in tuition. And so I told him, I said, oh, I can tell you right now, I don't have $20,000 to pay for this school. So then he said, I tell you what, he said, give me a minute. He put me on hold, came back. He said, I got it. If you are serious about what I'm telling you, I really, really think that this is what you need to do. He said, in Miami, Miami-Dade College offers the same program and they offer financial aid. He said, this is what I want you to do. I'm not going to enroll you in Georgia Perimeter. You need to go to a school of broadcast and radio. And at that moment, remember, I'm following God. I'm like, well, Lord, you know what? I ain't questioning nothing at this point. I'm like, if it's coming, it got to be God. So I called my mom and I said, I'll be back in Florida in about 2 weeks. I'm going to school in Miami. And my mom's like, what? What are you talking about? You're going to come back? And I'm like, Mom, I don't know where I'm going to stay. I literally did not know where I was going to live. And I was just, it was just God had it in me to just move because I was on fire with this whole idea of being this big time radio personality. I could hear myself on the radio. What are you talking about? Just as good as Ricky Smiley. I'm just as good. I can have like one of the biggest radio stations in the world. So, you know, I'm going. I literally packed up my things. Do you hear me? My dad cursed me out.
Is he still watching? Oh my word. Is he still watching?
Yeah, he knows. My dad knows. He knows how he is. So my dad's like, what? You know, because mind you, the reason why my dad is upset, because remember, nobody understands the vision. They don't know what God is telling me. They're not here, right? The only thing my dad is thinking is, I just spent all this money hauling you to Atlanta. I bought a U-Haul, I got a truck, I drove the car, and you're coming back to Florida? No, you're not, you know. So, you know, he was just like, what is wrong with this girl? Like, are you insane? And I'm like, you know what? I just got to move. I got to see where this is going. I trust God. I'm trusting the process. I got to do this. I moved. And believe it or not, I had my two daughters. I had a Mustang at the time. I had just purchased a Mustang from Drive Time. One of my dream cars that I always wanted. I drove that Mustang to Florida. My kids and I slept in that Mustang for 2 months. I was literally homeless when I moved back to Miami. I ended up calling my dad and I said, you got to get the kids. I said, I can sleep in the car because this is my dream, but I can't have these girls here. So you got to get the kids. I don't care. You got to get them. You're not used to the kids, but you got to get these kids. I took my kids to Orlando. They stayed with my dad. He had to take care of his grandkids. And I stayed here to pursue my career, you know, of getting into radio to get this degree. I slept in my car. I got to the point where I'm like, oh, I got to shower. I don't know where I'm going to shower. You know, I'm living out my trunk. So one day, my English professor, I was always late to class. No one knew why I was always late. I was always late because I was homeless. I had to go all the way down to 595, take a shower at the rest stop, try to make it back to school on time. And I was always running about 10, 15, 20 minutes late. So one day my professor got on me. He said, listen, Ross, you have potential. I don't know what's going on with you, but listen, if you are late again, I'm going to have to drop you from this class. me being so discreet and secretive, I was really ashamed and embarrassed. I didn't want to tell him what I was going through, but I had to. So I pulled him to the side. I said, let me talk to you. I literally told him, I said, I think I deserve a little more credit than what you're giving me. I said, I am homeless. I have to drive all the way to 595, shower so that I could come to class smelling good. And here you are on my back. I said, I'm doing my work. I'm just late from time to time because I don't have a place to stay. So then he's looking at me. He's like, you mean to tell me every day you come to school, you're late because you don't have a place to stay? And I said, I don't have a place to stay. I sleep in my car. I literally have to ride around every day when school is out, finding me a safe place to sleep. So I said, I got a million things on my mind right now. Getting to class on time is not one of them. As long as I'm here, I don't care. So, and this was a black guy. He got teary-eyed and he said, he said, stay right here. He came back. He had called the dean of Miami-Dade and they all came together and they said, we are impressed. At that moment, they said, you are welcome to the gym shower. You use the shower. They gave me rags. They gave me towels. They literally helped me live that process of my life. And they allowed me to go shower in the gym. Everybody in the gym was aware of it. I mean, they literally came together and said, this girl did not give up. And the dean was like, you could have dropped out of school at any time because of this, and you didn't. And so, and they worked with me. By that time, my dad helped me out. I ended up getting my apartment finally. And then, you know, I got my kids back, and here we are, and I'm doing my thing, and I'm telling people this story of how you should never give up, no matter how hard it gets. Sometimes you got to go through things, and sometimes you got to make sacrifices. And sometimes God puts you in situations that are so hard where it's going to challenge the faith that you say you have in him. And at that moment, I knew that God was testing my faith. God was testing me, and he wanted to see how much I was true to my word. Because when I told God that I was not going back to the strip club, no matter how hard it got, he said, okay, well, I'm going to test you, and I'm going to see. Because I'm a woman. I have a nice figure. I look good. I can go to the strip club and make a couple $1,000s, no problem. But because I made that promise to God, and I wanted God to start blessing me in a way where it was going to give me that fulfillment, that purpose. I wanted to feel like I had a purpose in life. I didn't want to exist and just be living on this earth, making all this money as a stripper, and I'm still empty. I was still empty. I was still hollow. I was still, it seems like I didn't have a soul on the inside of my body. And that was the turning point for me. I wanted to feel like I had a purpose here. And the only way that I could feel like I had a purpose, I had to line myself up to where God wanted me to be, so that God could use me, and so that God could let other people see this light that I had dimmed for so many years. And now that light is so bright. It's
Yes,
so
it
bright.
is. Yes,
And
it is.
I only have God to thank for that. I really do.
Wow. Your story is inspirational. It is one that I've inspired, and many people that are watching, I'm sure they're inspired by your story today. What I like about you, you kept your eyes on the goal. You believe in your
Yes.
God-given talents and ability, and you press your way through.
Yeah.
Tell me something. Where do you see your business in the next 3 to 5 years?
Oh,
And what
wow.
advice would you give to
Well, my
those?
business, Wamsga is going to make its first million. I'm 1,000 people away from making my first $1 million with Wamsga. But I definitely see Wamsga as an Elon Musk type of money. It
Yes.
is going to be one of those companies where you will see it on the Fortune 500 list. You will see this woman coming to the forefront, and you're never going to know how it happened. And then you're going to see this great story. But I do see my company, Wamsga, being one of the greatest companies out there, breaking barriers, changing the dynamics of corporate, because I intentionally, on purpose, designed this company to do the complete opposite of what corporate does, because we all know corporate is fueled with greed. You know, that 1%, those billionaires, that 1% that make up this entire earth, that's not where I'm going. I refuse to be a part of the 1%, and the people that God have assigned me to are not at least reaping the benefits in a way that is able to afford them to provide for themselves in a comfortable way. Because we are all surviving. We are all providing for ourselves, but some of us are check to check. I'm trying to get people out of that check to check system. And I want people to be able to make money and be able to have that savings over here and, you know, have that throwaway money over here. At the same time, they're affording their bills, because I'm not a greedy person. I can't be greedy if God is leading me. And if the idea did not come from me, it came from him. He gave me assignment, and I am going to make sure that I make him proud. And this is why I opened up my company, to allow people to make 100% profits, because I'm not greedy. I'm good with 40%. I even give my salespeople 60% commissions, and the company gets 40. I give them majority. And if a salesperson comes and say, hey, I want to make more than 60, then you know what? I also allow them to negotiate with me. Well, how much do you think you're worth as a salesperson? If they can give me a good reason why I need to give them more than 60%, then by all means, I'm going to give you what you deserve, because that's fair. That is fair. And that's what I do. And that's why I have so many salespeople. I have over like 100 of them right now.
Wow. Wow. Congratulations. What advice, because you're so inspirational. We've heard your story, and this is a story of great success. I would not be surprised. For me, I'm looking to see you on Forbes magazine.
Yes.
Some years from now. I can tell you that. I'm not surprised by your story, because you've been interviewed right here on Pathway to Success. So I know your story. So I won't be one who'll be, oh my God, where did she came from? I'll say, I know Miss Ross, the boss. I know her personally.
Right.
But what advice would you give someone who might be interested in starting their own business?
I think the first thing that for anybody who wants to start their own business, basically change their life around, the first thing you have to do self-evaluating. And a lot of people say, how does that have anything to do with me starting my own business? That has a lot to do with you starting your own business and also being successful in that business. So you have to kind of step back a little bit, and you have to start, first of all, holding yourself accountable for a lot of things that have gone wrong in your life in the past. Because believe it or not, when you're going into business, and I had to learn this the hard way, your past is going to catch up with you. And I used to hear my grandma and people say that all the time about how your past will catch up on you when you feel like you're on the straight and narrow. When that happens, don't get discouraged. Just remember, I got to hold myself accountable. I made that choice. I ignored that red flag. And what you do, you ask God to give you an idea, give you in a way to escape the past so that you can move forward. Once he pushes you forward and, you know, you pretty much dominate, you know, that past and it's trying to stop you and God moves you forward, that is when you start focusing on your passion. So I wouldn't say start a business just to be starting it, because you could be successful in starting a business that you're not passionate about, but the businesses that last are the ones that you literally have passion about. And make sure that that business lines itself up with what God wants you to do. It doesn't matter what you're working in. You have to do things to protect God's people. You got to do it the right way, because you got to give God the glory. And I say this all the time when I see people in these positions at these government buildings. You know, they may be working in the welfare office. They may be working in the Section 8 office, Medicaid office. You got to have a passion for people. You got to have a passion to help God's people, because if you don't, you will be one of the ones that cause God's people to either kill themselves, be so under stress, lose hope in God. Because believe it or not, people don't blame people for why their life goes wrong. They have a tendency to blame God, but they have to realize that these people that God put in place, they are not being obedient. They're in these positions and they don't even need to be there. So I would beg of you to get in a position to where you know that you are going to fulfill not only your purpose in life, but God's purpose, because we are fishermen of men. We are to help everybody. And if everybody got this concept, this world would not be where it is today. But unfortunately, it is. but you can be the difference. You can make the difference. You can change the narrative. And I just, want you guys to understand that no matter what business you go into, just make sure you have a business for people. It has to come from the heart. You got to have a passion to do it, and you got to want the best for people.
I like that. I can see you giving back to your community because you're a philanthropist also, and you have a passion to see other people's win.
Absolutely.
And another thing, I wouldn't be surprised one day to turn up in your service. I wouldn't be surprised one of these days to find myself sitting in a church service watching you preach.
Oh my
I can tell the whole world. I can see that this is going to happen.
Oh my goodness.
And I'll be one that'll be sitting right there and will be applauding.
Dr. Hunter, you trying to give me another title here? Don't you think I got enough titles?
But I know this is a direction, one of the directions that you're going through, and also another direction in Hollywood. How can we find you if people want to find you?
I'm on LinkedIn for businesses. If you want to connect with me on a business level, if you want to become one of my salespeople, or you want to talk more to me about WAMSGA licensing the company, you can find me on LinkedIn. It's Doris R. Fluellen on LinkedIn. All right. You'll see the pink WAMSGA logo behind me, and you'll see me on the profile picture. I got blonde hair. I switched it up. Yes.
Oh my word. You got blonde hair?
I got blonde hair.
That means if I see you, I would not recognize it's you.
You may listen, you may or you may not, but it is me. It is me. You can also follow me on Facebook. I have several Facebook pages. My personal page is Doris M. Ross. It has Aquarius in the background, and there's like a parenthesis that says I'm her. That is me. You can also follow me on Facebook at Miss Ross Radio, and you can follow the radio station page on Facebook at WMRR Miami or WMRR on air. And the same goes for Instagram.
Wow. You have heard it right here on Pathway to Success, the inspirational, the motivating Miss Ross Boss.
That
wow.
is me.
What a great interview.
I just hope, I hope this interview was, something that somebody could use. You don't always reach them all, but if I reach one, I'm happy.
I believe that this interview is one of the greatest interview, the best interview we've had of many. And there are so many persons that are watching you today who have been inspired by your story. They've been motivated also to believe in their God-given talent.
Yes.
And to believe in themselves. I want to thank you so much, Mrs. Ross.
Thank you so much, Dr. Hunter. Listen, we gotta arrange that.
Well, we're gonna speak as we get off the air. We'll be speaking. What are you talking about?
Oh yeah, okay, we're gonna. All right.
God, I gotta bring you to Jamaica to do some motivational speaking and the Bahamas.
Yes,
because that's one of the areas I really see.
I would love that. Oh my God, I would love that.
As a motivational speaker.
Yes.
So while we're gonna say bye to everyone on Pathway to Success. Miss Ross Boss and I will be speaking about getting some projects together to inspire others to the next level. I'm your host, Dr. Michael Hunter. We want to thank you for joining us on Pathway to Success. And in closing, all we have to say, you can be an inspirational success. All you need to do is believe in your God-given talent. Have a great week.